You know, it has changed a lot in the 14, 15 years I've been there.
Yeah.
You know, as a guy, my neighbor once told me, he said, I knew the neighborhood was changing when I saw two people running and there was no one even chasing them.
Honestly. Prospect Heights is where the Brooklyn Nets call home. It's also one of the areas at the center of the borough's gentrification problem.
You can't pretend it's not an issue.
It's an issue.
You can't pretend it's not.
But we'll get to that later. We're gonna see that Prospect Heights is a place where people do exceptional things on a neighborhood scale.
That dip, that gumbo dip.
I love a dripping sandwich, man.
And we're gonna do it the Brooklyn way.
I mean, I think first and foremost, you know, we're a neighborhood restaurant, and there's not a lot of places in New York that you can get Cajun and Creole cuisine done well. And so I thought sticking to like a focused menu of really classic neighborhood New Orleans style joint dishes and doing them the best we can, that we'd have success. I was born and raised in Louisiana, so I've grown up around New Orleans culture, New Orleans food. We knew we had to have a gumbo. I mean, it's the most quintessential dish of Louisiana. Red beans and rice, classic New Orleans comfort food. The soul of Louisiana cooking is really in these like long, all-day cooked dishes where you really develop this incredible depth of flavor. So this is the surf and turf po' boy. So it's roast beef and gravy, cornmeal crusted fried shrimp.
Ooh,
just classically dressed lettuce, tomato, pickle, mayo on a toasted roll from Caputo's Bakery here in Brooklyn.
It's like a debris and shrimp.
Yeah, it's debris and shrimp.
Yeah, it's a debris and shrimp.
So debris and shrimp, exactly.
Yeah, man. I love this. It's something that I crave often. I'm a Creole boy. You know, my family's from Mamou.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I always gotta hit this with some Crystal though.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's essential.
You have to.
You know, Crown Heights, obviously the center of Caribbean culture here in Brooklyn, and there's so much crossover between New Orleans and Caribbean culture. I mean, I lived in Brazil for a few years as well. My wife like grew up there. Anytime you have these kind of, you know, Afro-European hybrid cultures, there's rice and beans dishes, the stewed dishes.
The food from Louisiana, I think, is like true American, like it's its own distinct thing. Gumbo it's only made here. But it does come from the word ngombo and Igbo from Nigeria, which is okra soup. And it's like the slaves trying to find a slice of home.
Yeah.
Like trying to figure it out, but then they met with the Native Americans. Then the Germanic settlers gave us the sausages, and the fishermen from the Canary Islands taught us how to catch all the seafood. And all these things came together in a conglomerate.
Yeah, you know the influence of the Louisiana melting pot well.
It's a beautiful thing. I think like there's two things that like really embody, or like American can claim that's us. And it's like Creole cuisine and soul food.
Yeah.
Sarah.
Hey, Kwame.
How you doing?
Good to see you.
Hey, what's
Bowie.
up? What's up, Chloe? What's up? How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Good?
Thanks for
man.
coming to see our space.
Of course. So tell me about what you got here and like, what does this mean to you?
The Shirley project space started in our apartment. We had artists and writers and video artists come and present their work, and then we found this space, and we love this neighborhood. We love the energy and the food. So we looked to make our new home here. I feel like I'm meeting my neighbors. They look in the windows and they're drawn in by the color and the light. Rachel Wren is a Brooklyn artist. She works in Gowanus, and her work straddles landscape and abstraction. You can feel as if you're in nature, and at the same time, when you get close to it, you really just identify colors and shapes, and it flickers, absolutely.
Yeah.
Every artist that presents in this space, I challenge them to make something site-specific.
Whoa.
She designed this and I helped her build it.
Yeah, I wouldn't bring children in here because they may try to like climb through it and think it's like.
Oh yeah, and they definitely lie on the floor and look from above. But,
oh, have you tried that?
I have.
Wow, that's cool.
Can you see the green rainbow?
Yeah, I can see the rainbow. It's like a f***ing Skittle. If you spin, then you can see more of it. So how much does this piece go for? What are we looking at right here?
Well, this is $18,000.
Okay, all right, that's cool, that's all right. That's a weekend in Vegas.
In addition to the artwork that's on the walls, I've challenged artists that have shown here to make a project that is more affordable, more accessible, and we started something called the Affordable Art Project. I totally believe that everyone should have art in their homes.
Yeah.
And if I can help people feel confident of starting to collect art and give them a price point that is, less than a night out at your
Vegas,
restaurant,
or a weekend in Vegas,
then I'm going to try to do that. But we also try to help the artists get paid for their time and their work and their years of study. This painting here, called Holding Place, she's worked on this piece on and off for 9 years.
Woo! It's like when someone says, how long did it take you to come up with a dish? It's like, this isn't the first iteration of what I'm giving you.
Exactly.
It took a long time to get
every
there.
recipe stands on the shoulders of other recipes,
Of
and
course.
every artwork stands on the shoulders of other artworks.
Woo! We've arrived. We are here, ladies and gentlemen. There's nothing better than a bowl of ramen on a day like this.
Perfect.
Honestly.
This is it.
Yeah.
I live for these days.
Yeah, so you've been here for 10 years.
10 years now.
10 years. So you get into ramen.
So, I spent 6 years with Morimoto. We were doing like big box Japanese food in Manhattan, right? I mean, it's just a big house.
It's huge. It's an arena.
I wanted to scale back, and I wanted to do something like small and personal, almost like a diner.
Yeah.
And my wife and I had just moved to Brooklyn a few years prior. And, what's really missing from this area, and it was at the time, was ramen. My partners and I had some experience in ramen. I brought with me my executive sous and another sous chef from Morimoto, Dave and James. It just made sense. It was a small little shop. It was food for the community, food for the neighborhood.
All right, what we got here?
So
this looks
kale
good.
salad, been on the menu since day one. Tempura and raw kale, ginger miso dressing, pickled golden raisins, and crispy Japanese potato chips.
Lots of textures, dualities of temperature. It's fun.
It's a fun salad.
It's a fun thing to eat.
Yeah. This is our vegetarian soy ramen.
Okay.
Side of pork belly. So we have the vegetable stock, right? So that's seaweed, basically.
Which kind of seaweed? Like kombu or
It's kombu extract from Japan. Seaweed root, it's incredible concentrate. It's like very gooey and almost like aloe. We make the tare with...
Explain tare to people that don't really know what it is.
It's the flavoring, right? It's a concentrated liquid that flavors your broth. Right?
Okay. So I like to get vegetarian soup and then make it unvegetarian.
A lot of people do, man.
So you've been in Brooklyn for over 10 years. When you hear the term like the Brooklyn way, what does that mean to you?
Spread the love.
Yeah.
There's a generosity. There's a spirit to it. There's an openness.
We're definitely spreading love. The
You know.
ramen way, which is also the Brooklyn way at this point.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
So tell me about the place. What does the name come from?
So the name comes from some cultural referencing from a place called the Dill Pickle Club.
Okay.
That existed in early 20th century Chicago.
Okay.
It was kind of a wild countercultural place.
Is that where you're from?
Nope, I'm from Bermuda.
Bermuda.
Right, the islands.
I thought that was a place ships disappeared.
That's how I got there, man.
Okay, all right.
The place brought everyone together. I mean, literally everyone. It was one of the first places that was integrated. It was just a wild place, and it was located in a back alley called Tooker Alley.
Okay.
So that was where the name came from.
I think if anything tells a story, it has a soul.
Dig it.
You're not doing it just to do it. Bars have always been like a place that people gathered. to have a good time, to escape reality.
And form a little, like, ersatz community of their own, you know what I mean? Like, I saw it after 9/11 when people huddled in their favorite bars after that. I saw, like, how vital some of these places were to people when, you know, they didn't have family around, they were really freaked out and scared, and so many of the places.
Comfort, yeah. So how long have you been in Brooklyn?
In Brooklyn since 2008.
You have been in Brooklyn for a long time. I was at a ramen shop that was owned by a white person. I was at a Creole shop that was owned by a white person. I was at an art shop that's owned by a white person. What do you think about the gentrification of Brooklyn? Not to put you on the spot, but I'm just curious.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
But it's a real issue, you know. It's certainly something that we thought about when we came here was, hey, we're the interlopers, you know. One of the things that we actively tried to do was to make sure that the community that was here before us were welcome and knew that and felt that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, look, come on, we're selling expensive cocktails.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
You know, there's no doubt we're a part of the gentrification. So there was a concerted effort to like to meet people in the neighborhood that have been here a long time and make sure that they were invited, that they were welcome here. And actually, the dudes across the street, which they're not there tonight, but their neighborhood dude's been around a long time. I met them early on. They call it Chez Bougie. That's what they call my place. Like, yo, what's up? Chez Bougie, how's it going?
Exactly.
I was like, why don't you come and find out for yourself? You know, if they didn't like the joint, then that's fine, that's cool. Yeah. But if they liked it, they were everybody was welcome. There should be all kinds of people in the bar.
Of course.
Rubbing shoulders, meeting each other, you know.
So, cheers to that.
Yeah, man, welcome, welcome.